Shalom. All praise to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of His Son, which is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, to the 1/3, and to the 144,000, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, which consist of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and North American Indians, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not. And as always, death to 2/3 and all the wicked. So, man, what isn't a topic? What's not a topic? Everything is everything right now. Is this guy going? Okay, let's go. All right, everything is everything, and whew, it's a lot here, man. Just thinking about you got a lot of guys that claim to be prophets, teachers, Israelites, leaders, shepherds, pastors, whatever they want to call themselves, and yet what they do is they actually further scatter the sheep more. And it's just amazing to see that, as we're in this time of mercy, how unmerciful they are with spiritual things or spiritual men, which is a necessity so that they can be a witness to themselves. And it shows you that their actions are carnal. So it's all observational. And that's the type of environment that we're in right now. We're in an observational environment. And what I mean by that is the angels are watching. People are watching. Everyone is watching. Right? And people want to use the actions of others as a justification for they themselves to do something similar or comparative. They'll get caught doing this or that, and they'll say, or they'll admit it, and they'll have a scapegoat. Well, so-and-so did this or so-and-so did that. That doesn't matter to you. That's him. That's not you. The mercy of one man is not equal or greater to the next. That's not for us to really decide. The Spirit moves these things around, man. The Spirit, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, have already decided. Okay? So, what I have pulled up, if you've been reading it, then good. This 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 50 is really where I want to start. Now, this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yahweh, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. So flesh and blood are not going to inherit the kingdom. What is that talking about? That's talking about carnality. The way of life now, the mindset now, the body you have now, it can't inherit the kingdom. Your spirit can, if it's found worthy. And that's the thing. I think a lot of these guys, a lot of guys in other camps, they forget that they're going to have to be judged. And it's not going to be a debate of back and forth argument. The Most High is quick with His judgment. He's swift. You mean to tell me the creator of all things living, the creator of all thought process and predetermined notions and character traits, you mean to tell me he just created some shit and doesn't know how the hell it's gonna work? There's not gonna be a sit down with everyone, a line of guys outside the office, and you get called in one by one, and you get to explain your case and your situation. No, man. This is the time of explaining yourself right now with your actions. But a lot of people, a lot of Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, North American Indians, have had developmental issues, growing issues, from youth up. You know, we're all subject to negative energies, man. And some of those traits could still be on you. And we all have a bad habit, so to speak. But the important thing is, are you catching it? Are you calling it out in yourself? As much as you see things and you scrutinize, like people watch sports and they criticize this and that, that's fair to do as a fan or whatever. If you're the type of person, if you get that hard on others, you got to be getting that hard on yourself. You see? So the carnal ways, they're not going to be found in the kingdom, man. Not within Israel. That's going to be found within the heathen nations. So you can see why the scriptures say and quote certain things that separate Israel from Israel. They are not all Israel which are of Israel. Okay? Most High is constantly purging people out. You got guys out there that believe that only the Negroes are the 12 or all 10, 12 tribes, man. If that's the case, why don't they promote which northern kingdom they claim to be? You know, they'll come up with all this archaeological evidence, right? Yet they'll ignore huge portions of archaeological evidence and culture that supports the so-called North American Indian, that supports, you know, the indigenous of North, Central, and South America. What about the scriptures that say that the tribes came and dwelt where never no one had dwelt before? That's here. That's this land. That's not Africa. People were already living in Africa. That whole continent of Africa was known as the land of Ham. That whole area of the Middle East, that's known as the land of Shem. The area known as the Mediterranean in Europe, that's the land of Japhet. This was known, man. So you have whole areas named after Ham, Shem, and Japhet. Okay, and that's why you have so many Shemitic people living in that area of the Middle East, man. Moab and Ammon, where'd they go? They just went further east. You still consider that the land of Shem. Those three large bodies of water: Africa, what we call Asia, and Europe. What does that leave? Australia? Do you mean to tell me that the Aborigines are Israelites? They don't have the customs of Israel, man. You don't devolve that far away. When you're an ancient society and you get away from other people, you retain a lot of ancient things about yourself, man. You know, the harsher the environment, yeah, I could see, you know, coming into play with more plant-based clothing. I get that. But where were the Aborigines tracking the stars at, man? Only the so-called Aztecs and the Mayans were tracking the stars because they were the stargazers, man. What about the warrior tribes? Hey, when you read about Aboriginal warfare with the colonists, they weren't doing too hot, man. It took, you know, Gad were the ones that were the true warriors, man, and they were recognized by Edom, the blesser, the man blessed with the sword. Flesh and blood will not inherit the kingdom, man. You got to be constantly purging yourself of these carnal habits and a carnal mindset, and get more in tune with the spiritual thing. But that's why this truth is so precious, man. You know, when you're young in the truth, you first come in, yeah, you're gonna be, you know, a type of way. But I've even seen guys that are older in age, when they first come in as a newborn, that age thing really fucks with them, man. Because they're like, I'm this amount of years old, you know, what are you gonna tell me? I've seen a lot of shit. But you haven't quieted your fucking spirit, man. So lucky for my French, but you haven't quieted your fucking self, man. Shut up. You've been alive for what, 38, 42 years just coming in? Shut up. You've said too much in your time alive, man. It's time to listen. When the student is ready, the master will present himself. When the student is ready, the teacher will present himself. And you can only serve one master, man. Because you're going to love one and hate the other. So are you going to fill your own belly and satisfy your belly? Or are you going to fill and satisfy your master's belly? Who do you love more? Who are you really serving? So anyway, with that, man, Salaki for the little rant here and there, but, you know, those are just observational points. We're in a year of prophecy. Prophecy, you know, means to say before it happens. We're saying what we see is going to happen. We're warning the people even. Meanwhile, these guys want to just constantly discuss doctrine and breakdowns. And look, man, it's already been said. You notice every time Great Millstone comes out with something, the Spirit provides Great Millstone with being, you know, the spirit of a forerunner of these camps. Now you got guys coining their own phrases for the year. Why? Because they're full of hate and envy, jealousy and strife, contention, murmurers, backbiters, gainsayers, non-believers, works of darkness and malice, man. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Shalom.